Good evening, welcome to week 17 of the plan, and tonight I'm going to be talking about VO2 Max. So first of all tonight, I'm going to do this pretty much as live. It's a perfect scenario at week 17 when I'm so busy between work and my other work and training and trying to do this video and just trying to fit everything in. So first of all then, I've just come back from an expedition. I'm a Duke of Edinburgh leader, outdoor leader, and I'm a full-time teacher. And as you can tell by these videos, I'm also training for an Ironman. I'm trying to share everything with anybody who would like to learn something new. You can also obviously go back to week number 1 and see how it went and see that we are using the Be Iron Fit plan. That's the one I followed. I'm not getting paid for any of this. And yeah, I found it fine. Obviously, my teaching background, I don't find that I need to have a coach or anything. You know, what was it? 6-7 quid for the book. And I did my first Ironman from that book. So anyway, this week is particularly tough. I've just come back from expedition. This is why I got a cap on because my hair's all over the place. I would like to discuss VO2 tonight because I did a VO2 test. I've got it booted up on my laptop here as well. But first of all, this week 17 plan. So I'll just ping that up here. As I noted, it's been tough. I had a triathlon last week and then we've been away. I took my wife to see Dua Lipa on the weekend. So that was like a weekend in Wembley away. So I wasn't being able to train properly. I did manage to do a run after I came back, but that was it. There was no long training on the weekend. But also I've got the long course weekend coming up this weekend, which is iron distance. So I'm sort of tapering this week as well. So I'm seriously adjusting things. Plus, I've been away out on expedition with my pupils for the last 2 days. Not much sleep. It's been raining hard with loads of wind in the tents and just trying to organise 40 pupils and staff members and things. And now I've come back. This is it. It's reality. Just get on with it. So tonight I'm home. I'm doing this video. Once I've done this video, I'm going for a swim for 9 o'clock till 10 o'clock. So again, I'm tapering on the swim. I'm probably going to be like 2,000 meters, but gentle, just ready for Friday evening, which is the swim night of the long course weekend. Okay, I'll ping this away. And now, the VO2 Max. So I got the test done in the University of South Wales, Pontypridd campus, and by a great guy called Tom Owens, PhD. I've got a few notes here that I've jotted down. First of all, I'm no expert. I've done this test. A lot of people were banging on about it. What I've had out of this test is some data of where I am at my maximum heart rate, and what I intended to get out of it was my zones so I could place them properly on my watch whilst I'm training. It was also surprising that my resting heart rate was 53. The notes here are about VO2. So VO2 max refers to the maximum amount of oxygen your body can utilize during intense exercise. It's a key indicator of cardiovascular fitness and aerobic endurance, reflecting how efficiently your body can transport and use oxygen to produce energy. A higher VO2 max generally translates to better physical fitness and is linked to the reduced risks of certain diseases and increased longevity. Sounds good. So I was really happy. I was in the top 5% of my, something like the 96th percentile of my age group, which is 45 to 49. With this, I'll just continue. What is VO2 max? So VO2 max, or maximum oxygen consumption, represents the maximum amount of oxygen your body can take in, transport, and utilize during physical activity. It measures in millimeters of oxygen per kilogram of body weight per minute. A higher VO2 max indicates your body's capacity to consume and utilize oxygen more effectively. So further on from that is, I've heard a lot of this during zone 2 training. This is what zone 2, it's also on an earlier video, this is what zone 2 does to you. It's really annoying. You run slowly for a long time. You tend to get used to it after a while. It just builds your base. And then that increases your oxygen flow, your capacity and all this stuff, whatever I've just mentioned, around your body. And you can then run more efficiently longer. Okay, so benefits of a higher VO2 max. So these are notes coming on the screen now. Improved cardiovascular fitness. So it's a strong indicator how well your heart and lungs can deliver oxygen to your muscles during exercise. Enhanced endurance. A higher VO2 max allows you to sustain physical activity for longer periods. Reduced risk of chronic diseases, always good. Studies show a link between higher VO2 max and a lower risk of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and some cancers. Increased longevity. Research suggests that a higher VO2 max is associated with increased lifespan. This is all good so far. Improved athletic performance. While other factors are involved, VO2 max is a key determinant of performance in endurance sports. Bit handy in triathlon. More efficient energy production. Your body can generate more ATP energy. Not quite sure what that is. That's another Google search. When it can effectively utilize oxygen. Better weight management as well. A higher VO2 max can make it easier to exercise and burn calories, supporting weight management. And the last one, improved quality of life. Well, of course, with all of that involved, your quality of life will increase. Just generally keeping fit will increase. Those are the details I researched and obviously Googled, which is great. Now, I did discuss with the specialist in the lab when I booked this in. We weren't allowed to film a lot there. He filmed the footage of what he would allow to be filmed within the lab because it is all quite secretive, and they keep the equipment under wraps. There is a VO2 max chart here. I'll pop it up for men. There obviously are for women as well. It goes with age and years and all of this. I've already mentioned that I was really, really happy that I was in the top 4% percentile to my age. I was actually really surprised. So I'm going to boot this video up in a second. I just come off an illness. I don't know if I'd caught COVID again. I've had COVID 6, 7 times, even 8 times maybe between, full-time teacher. It's hard to avoid it. So I wasn't actually feeling my best on this. And I did manage to stick it out for 15 minutes. So he told me that average run on a VO2 max is sort of between 12 and 15. He didn't say what age. But after I'd finished, I was really, really chuffed because he did say that sticking it out for 15 minutes at my age was quite impressive. So I'll just boot this up now. So we obviously started extremely slow. We start at, I can't remember, we start at obviously minute 0 and we work up to as long as you can stick it out. But I managed to get to 19 kilometers per hour, but we started on something like 4 kilometers per hour, if I remember correctly. So that's all the data coming through now as I'm starting to pick it up. Now, at this point, I was actually thinking, oh, wow, this is easy. I can go all day doing this. I think I'm on like 5 kph or 6 kph at that point because I've just started to get into a toddle. And I was thinking, oh, this is no problem. The thing in the mouth, by the way, wasn't that uncomfortable. It's like just a snorkel. And at the end, it was dribbling at the bottom, but it was surprisingly comfortable. It didn't hurt. And I had a peg on my nose so everything would go out through my mouth. So I'm picking up and I'm starting to think, right, I'm going to have to hold this now. I was feeling quite comfortable, lovely wide treadmill. And I was just thinking, I'm going to have to hold this. And that's when I started to realize when you get to 14, 15 kph, it's not just about keeping it at that speed. It's about increasing it every minute. So I was creeping up slowly when I was thinking, right, I'm maintaining this very well. But I was also creeping up and it just got to a point where I was just absolutely giving it my all. And I thought, right, he told me 12 to 15 minutes and that was challenge accepted. He had to stop filming by the end because they got to a point where the treadmill was going quite fast, not like sprint speed, but quite fast, that they were on standby that I wouldn't go off the back end onto the crash mat. If I wasn't feeling that ill, I probably could have maybe squeezed another 20, 30 seconds, but I'm saying this, that was pushing it. I had to jump sideways, and I was absolutely puffing and panting. My arms, my hands were on my knees. And I'd also realised at that point when I sort of turned around that him and the lab technician, they'd put a crash mat behind ready for anything to happen. And they said that they didn't say that beforehand. They didn't put the crash mat there beforehand because you'd start to panic and then your resting heart rate would increase. So yeah, obviously I was really, really impressed with the Be Iron Fit plan because zone 2 training really, really did help me out in the VO2 test, and the facts, the data have proven that the Be Iron Fit plan works a treat. My max heart rate was 183, so that gives you your absolute top of zone 5. And that lasted, well, it says here VO2 max at 15. But yeah, and then my anaerobic threshold was at 7 minutes, and that was within zone 3. So yes, this is why you sort of avoid zone 3, because you're between anaerobic and aerobic. You can search that up, but basically aerobic is sprinting, anaerobic is long distance running. If you're thinking of having a test, comment below, and what do you expect to do with that data as well when you have the results back. What I've had out of this is I can now accurately pitch my zones. So I've had more information to pitch my zones, which gives me more accurate training data. So this is Get Ahead. I hope you found that helpful. I just always remember how I felt on my first triathlon, and I'm here just to share any information. Turn your can'ts into cans and get ahead and stay ahead.